Hello, and thank you for joining me today while I speak a bit about how sustainable infrastructure and smart city technologies are enabling smart tourism to drive efficiency and essentially make a smart city smarter by implementing resilient and decentralized infrastructure. My name is Lexie Assunto, and at ClearWorld, I work with cities and utilities on their sustainable and smart city initiatives. With over 15 years of experience in the hospitality and tourism industry, I have watched as technology has made it easier for visitors to navigate a new city. The idea of smart cities came about in the 1970s, but really didn't gain much traction until the 2000s, when cities around the world began to test their envisioned smart city initiatives. With advances in IoT technologies and monitoring, every industry that impacts the quality of services to our communities is continuously being reimagined. From increased connectivity, waste management, EV charging, smart lighting, and smart tourism, successful and true smart cities, we're finding, aren't truly possible without decentralized tech. ClearWorld provides aesthetically pleasing sole source lighting infrastructure with robust battery storage. It hosts multiple IoT applications, providing sustainable and resilient infrastructure for our city and utility partners. I first heard the term smart tourism about 5 years ago when I was working in the hospitality and tourism industry here in New Orleans. At that time, though ill-defined, we began to see more and more apps take the work out of planning our trips, and finding local attractions tailored to our personal interests was also becoming much easier. The definition and the concept of smart tourism has been loosely based on the ability to provide visitors with enough information to make informed decisions when traveling, and then also the economic and environmental responsibility of being a conscious consumer to the communities we visit. Simple things like don't litter, respect the wildlife, visit local restaurants, and immerse yourself in the local culture. These early consumer tech advances in smart tourism really solidified the importance of open data and supported our ongoing smart city conversations as well. When speaking with cities about their smart city goals, there is always one simple question I always ask: what do you want your city to look like? If I ask 100 city leaders their definition of a smart city, I will get 100 different answers, and I have, and they do. There are common themes, though, that are centered around increased efficiency through data, economic development, and sustainable initiatives. We're not only leveraging new technologies for the people through an information network, but also optimizing our resources and promoting sustainable developments to build for the future of our cities. Sustainable and smart city infrastructure is laying the framework and the foundation of power for technologies as they continue to grow. And what will that look like? ClearWorld works with our ecosystem of partners and industry leaders on P3 partnerships that are developing large-scale smart city turnkey end-to-end solutions. These public-private partnerships are driving innovation by leveraging and sharing open data and technologies so that our cities can make better operational decisions and monetize their data. We're able to increase efficiencies, drive economic development, and overall improve the quality of life for our citizens now by implementing sustainable infrastructure solutions. 98% of electrical outages last up to 3 hours. Sustainable smart infrastructure provides backup power to keep these assets alive. In a digital age, today and every day, we speak and connect to people all over the world, both personally and professionally. Many who are facing similar challenges. We compare notes, we learn from each other, and we're able to collaborate to drive innovation face-to-face, even if it's done so virtually. These tech and connected advances are accelerating sustainable and smart city initiatives by enabling real-time collaboration on a global level. I grew up in a little big city, a little city that relies very heavily on tourism, coined the Big Easy. With over 1,400 restaurants, multiple live music venues, countless historic attractions and tours, festivals, and sporting events. And as you may know, here in New Orleans, we also have a very active hurricane season and a quickly eroding coastline. Whether it's a storm, flood, oil spill, or a global pandemic, the very lifeblood of the cities we live in are halted each time we face these sort of events. So while the true meaning of smart tourism has lacked a clear definition, over the years, technologies developed and cities have begun to narrow down their vision of a smart city. Through this process, it's become apparent that sustainable and smart city initiatives go hand in hand with smart tourism. Without a smart city plan of action, smart tourism is much more difficult to attain and even harder to monetize. Smart city infrastructure and applications aren't referring to technological advances alone, but the interconnection and the operational synchronization of those technologies. It's collaboration and access to the open data through these interlinked databases that help develop new tourism activities and services for our cities. We can now digitalize our destinations by providing multiple resources and links to local attractions. Today, we truly are at the forefront of the fourth industrial revolution. The definition of smart cities has evolved over the years, and so has smart tourism. We're able to choose where we want to visit and what attractions we want to experience based on multiple travel apps and social media platforms. We have apps to rent cars, book our lodging, and the events that we want to attend. With all of these various consumer applications, cities are getting an incredible amount of real-time data. This data better attracts tourists and ensures that they have the best experiences when they visit our cities. With smart infrastructure in place, we are paving the way to optimize smart tourism, and when we can monetize our data, we can better support our community and attract more informed visitors who will spend more and they'll tell their friends about their favorite experiences. ClearWorld and our partners are leveraging core infrastructure for an intelligent corridor with multiple use cases, as we're doing in the city of Miami-Dade. Bringing efficiency, all of the intelligence and IoT, EV charging for fleets as an OpEx solution for the city, as well as expanding municipal broadband and big data analytics. As you have probably noticed, smart applications and sensors are currently crowding our streetlight infrastructure, and it is less than aesthetically pleasing. We have been playing catch up on an antiquated grid, but sustainable solutions like what we're providing maximize efficiency and are creating additional revenue streams for our cities while still keeping the intended form factor. With initiatives in place, the time is now to build for our futures. What will that look like? Each streetlight has the ability to gather and send enormous amounts of data, which open a world of opportunities for our cities, their residents, and their tourists alike. By connecting our streets and our infrastructure, we're enabling our cities to avoid costs and increase efficiencies through connectivity, Wi-Fi and small cell deployments that are all supporting these various sensors and smart city applications. In cities around the world that are implementing their smart city strategies, they are deploying easily discoverable and accessible EV charging stations and real-time parking sensors. Cities are also optimizing efficiencies within their public transit systems and their fleets, water systems, and also utilizing environmental alerts with weather monitoring for everything from temperature and air pressure to flood and air quality. This data translates to gold and a more efficient city. Additionally, cities are also able to properly dispose of their waste because, let's face it, no one wants to live in or visit a dirty city. With smart and connected waste collection technologies, cities can now monitor and maintain their bins. We can monitor and regulate our traffic flows and relieve congestion real time with the data that we collect through this smart infrastructure. We are also seeing many cities utilizing digital billboards and kiosks, providing interactive information to direct visitors and residents for entertainment, transportation, and in the event of an emergency. Acoustic threat and gunshot detection applications enable quicker response times for our cities in the event of a car crash or a shooting. Real-time cameras pan, tilt, zoom, and record the scene real-time, providing accountability with accurate depictions of the incident to support civil justice. One of the first smart city trends to take hold was that of smart lighting. The Department of Justice found a 35% decrease in crime by providing proper lighting. All of these various technologies used throughout a smart city are for data, energy, and efficiency, but we see that they are also incredibly useful for tourism. Up until now, the costs that have been associated with implementing sustainable technologies has been a huge deterrent for many cities, even more so when your tourism industry is super sensitive to natural disasters. The pandemic really highlighted our need to implement sustainable and smart city strategies that will support our economies. The pandemic highlighted the need for resilient cities, and the way storms and climate events have highlighted the need for resilient infrastructure along coastal communities globally for generations. In cities relying so heavily on the tourism industry that are also bearing the brunt of natural disasters, concepts like sustainability have been at the forefront of local conversations for generations. It's no coincidence that the coastal communities most susceptible to climate-related catastrophes are among the top tourist destinations as well. No matter the size of your city, sustainable smart infrastructure ensures that visitors get the most out of their stay. Tourists don't only directly financially contribute to our economies, they share our story. They hang it or post it on their wall. When putting together a smart city plan of action, we ask, what do you want your city to look like? And then we lay out a network infrastructure to support that vision. When we're expanding smart tourism, the question is a little bit different. What is your city's story? In a digital age, our visitors preview that story and plan how they want to experience our culture long before they get here. And it's true, now more than ever. Our cities do tell a story. And what does yours say? How can we better tell that story by implementing sustainable solutions? The stage has been set to make the sorts of changes that will drive our economies. What will that look like?